Portugal 2022 looked like a FIFA Ultimate Team squad built by a kid who found unlimited coins. A legend chasing his last dance, a golden generation in their prime, and a kid who scored a hat trick out of nowhere. This was supposed to be a fairy tale. Portugal weren't just going to cutter to compete, they were going to write history. Instead, they wrote one of football's most painful chapters. Cristiano Ronaldo arrived with a resume thicker than a history book. 5 Ballon d'Or, Champions League titles, the Euros in 2016, but one jewel was missing, the World Cup. This was his last chance. And unlike years past, he wasn't dragging a team of journeymen. He had an army. Bruno Fernandes pulling strings, Bernardo Silva gliding through midfield, Ruben Dias commanding the backline, João Felix finally free, and Rafael Leao exploding onto the stage. And for once, it wasn't Cristiano plus 10. It was a full orchestra. The group stage looked promising. Ronaldo scored against Ghana, becoming the first man to net in 5 World Cups. But Bruno stole the spotlight with goals and assists, while Felix and Bernardo kept things ticking. Portugal topped their group with depth that other nations envied. It felt like they finally had balance. Then came Switzerland. Fernando Santos benched Ronaldo, a call that looked suicidal but turned genius. Gonzalo Ramos, just 21, scored a hat trick in his first World Cup start. Pepe, Guerreiro, and Leao added goals as Portugal crushed Switzerland 6-1, their biggest knockout win ever. For one night, they looked unstoppable. Fans dreamed of a semifinal, commentators said it, pundits said it, Ronaldo even smiled on the bench. Maybe this was still his story. But football doesn't care about your script. It hands the pen to someone else. Enter Morocco. No Ballon d'Or winners, no 100 million euro transfers, just unity and belief. In the 42nd minute, it happened. A cross floated into the box. Youssef Enesiri rose like he'd found an invisible elevator. Higher than Diaz, higher than Costa. He met the ball and it smashed into the net. 1-0 Morocco. The stadium erupted. Portugal froze. From that moment, Morocco defended like warriors. Every tackle, every clearance, every save was celebrated like a goal. Portugal swarmed forward, but nothing worked. Bruno and Bernardo tried to unlock the defense. Felix fired from range. Leao sprinted at defenders, but Morocco's wall refused to fall. Then came Ronaldo. Brought on in the second half, chasing one final miracle. He ran, he pressed, he shouted, but the magic wasn't there. Bono saved his one real chance. Pepe headed wide and time slipped away. When the whistle blew, Morocco danced into history. Portugal walked into heartbreak. That image of Ronaldo crying wasn't just about him. It was about a nation. For nearly 20 years, Portugal's identity was Cristiano Ronaldo. He had dragged them through qualifiers, carried them in tournaments, and delivered Euro 2016. This time, the golden generation was supposed to carry him. Instead, destiny reminded everyone, it doesn't care who you are. And the sting was sharper because of Euro 2016. Back then, Portugal weren't favorites, they barely made it out of the groups, they were mocked as boring and lucky. In the final, Ronaldo went off injured, and somehow, Edia, yes, Edia, scored the winning goal against France. Portugal lifted the trophy through grit and belief. They proved you don't need stars to win, you need mentality. Fast forward to 2022, and the roles were reversed. This time, Portugal had the stars, the depth, the firepower. But they didn't have the fight. Fernando Santos, the mastermind of 2016, looked outdated. His cautious style, once perfect for underdogs, turned into a cage. Against Morocco, there was no creativity, no plan B, just sterile possession against a wall that refused to crack. And then the Ronaldo dilemma. For 2 decades, Portugal revolved around him. But in Qatar, he wasn't the same player. Against Switzerland, the team looked freer without him. Against Morocco, his return blurred the picture. Was this Ronaldo's team or Portugal's? That question was never answered. Most of all, the mentality crumbled. Great teams impose themselves when the pressure rises. Argentina in the same tournament fought through chaos, extra time, penalties, because they believed. Portugal, once they fell behind, looked like passengers. No one grabbed the wheel. This wasn't just defeat. It was a wasted chance. Ronaldo's last World Cup. Bruno and Bernardo at their peak. Felix and Leao rising. Diaz anchoring the defense. Everything aligned. And it slipped away. Portugal 2022 will forever be a what if. What if Ramos had started again? What if Santos had been bolder? What if the stars had played like a team instead of individuals? Those questions will echo long after Morocco's celebrations. Portugal will still compete. They'll produce stars, they'll challenge again. But that perfect storm, the golden generation alongside a legend's last dance, won't return. They had a chance to carve their names into history. Instead, they carved heartbreak. Portugal 2022, it was heartbreak. If you felt this story, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe, because football will always give us giants to rise, giants to fall, and stories worth telling.